How are we doing? Um, I was gonna do a live stream here, and I don't really know how to run the YouTube live stream setup quite yet. Um, gonna gonna mess around here a little bit and see what's going on. Um, Maybe me and Jesse try this for some podcasting soon. Um, but I wish I could pull up what I wanted to pull up. I wanted to do this in OBS where I could get um, my face obviously and my audio with with a screen that I could scroll and commentate on. But I don't know if that's how I don't know if that's how this works here in the YouTube streets here. Share screen. What? Oh wow. Okay. Choose what you want to share. Oh, this is how we do it right here. Share that. Oh, baby. Oh my God, I'm so good technologically speaking. Okay. Okay, baby. Let's get in here a little more. Get this out the way. Boom, boom, boom. Get this out the way. Boom. I don't want it. Boom, boom. Um, damn, man. Where did I have that? Where did I have those rankings at? I was trying to talk some ball, and of course, I just had too many tabs open to talk ball. But that's just great. That's just great. Um, oh, I hate that. F that. Um, oh, it's just right here, bro. I'm so tripping right now. Okay, so let me go here. Let me put my tab so I can kind of see. Oh, that's not gonna work. Let me go here. There we go. Oh, okay, boom. Okay, this is the idea of the live stream. You saw me get set up. I've been here an hour. I could have had this, that, and the third already, but let's just run with this idea here. I uh I wanted to just kind of talk some ball. I feel like I know a little more college basketball than I usually do. Um, so I'm just gonna give my take on some of these teams here, um, and their geographical location, and of course, as I've been trying to do this since it's been a while, but my dad just got home, um, and so I'm gonna text him since we're live. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of give my ideas um, on these teams and their geographical. Um, um, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Here's what I'm trying to say is I'm a little bit of a geography nut, and I kind of love learning about the D1 basketball teams that I didn't even know about. I love learning about all basketball teams, but of course the D1 teams that I didn't know about um, previously because there's 100 and some odd change, 150, whatever. Chicago State's new D1 football team, but there's 100 and some odd change D1 football teams. However, there's 300 some odd 65. There's a college basketball D1 team for every day of the year, and we're just gonna start here. Mississippi Valley State, gotta love their Twitter program. Um, Love that. Coming in at 3-27, perhaps the worst record in the country. Western Illinois. Um, I could tell you where Mississippi Valley and Western Illinois are, roughly. Coppin State, I couldn't tell you. Maybe in the south. Delaware State, I could tell you there. Gardner Webb. I just looked up where Gardner Webb was the other day. It's in the Big South. It's in the South. Virginia Military Institute. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna say Midland, Virginia. I don't really know though. University of Maryland, Casey. It's in Maryland. Binghamton, Bighampton. There's no P. Big beats me. It's in the American. South Carolina State self-explanatory. Writer. Where is Writer? Can someone help me out here? They're on the Mac. Mac. Bryant. Can someone tell me where Bryant is? You know, I'm a geography nut. I should know these things, and yet I don't. Maryland Eastern Shore, self-explanatory. MEAC. Another MEAC team. Morgan State couldn't tell you where it is. North Carolina Central couldn't tell you where it is. St. Francis. I know there's a St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Probably not the same team. The Citadel. Gotta love the Citadel. Don't know where it is. Gotta know where it is at some point. Probably in the South. Probably in the South. Louisiana Monroe in Louisiana. Maine. Probably the worst flagship school on the state. Outside of, well, outside of nobody, but New Hampshire. Competing for the worst flagship program. Chicago State, like I was saying, one of the most inspiring D1 teams. Psych. But it's pretty inspiring that they're bringing in a football program to Chicago there. D1 football team coming in here. They have to commute, I believe, 40 minutes to their stadium. They just weren't really ready for that level of what's going on for the football program. You know what I'm saying? Southern Indiana. That's probably in Southern Indiana. Canisius, New England Territory. Alcorn State, North Alabama, in the South. Army, upstate New York. Stonehill, I'm going to guess upstate New York. Air Force, gotta love the Air Force. Air Force Academy, Colorado Springs. Turn me up. Shouts out Jesse. UTSA, shouts out my friend Kevin and his girlfriend who went to. Oh no, she went to UTEP. Okay, I have nothing to say other than the Roadrunners were once last place in the Ken Palm. Now they have 5 strong wins, moving up to 3-3-8. Northern Illinois, we all know where that is. Upsetting Notre Dame a couple years ago at the South Bend. Shouts out Fast 7 for the Bend. Holy Cross, couldn't tell you, Pat. Jackson State in the South. Fairleigh Dickinson, that's in Jersey, baby. Turn me up. Niagara, upstate New York. Eastern Illinois, that's likely in my neck of the woods as of right now. Manhattan, couldn't tell you where that is. Bucknell, I'm gonna say oh my gosh, hey, oh brother, we got a real legendary commenter in here. It said I had 0 viewers. Make no mistake, Arizona Wildcats, the real #1 team and have been all year. Gatos Locos forever home. Bear down, Arizona. Arizona's the best team. These East Coast homers think that Duke and Michigan are. You know, I'll run with you there. Arizona's a strong competition for best team in the country. I'm partial to the East Coast bias of Duke and Michigan, but I can get down for Arizona being firmly in the tier 1 top 3. I think those 3 should be the sole 1 seeds. This is where I get into some ball talk. These 3 are the sole 1 seeds. Shout out to Champy 26TG or TQ, legendary viewer we got going on here. Yeah, I mean, put some more questions in the chat. Shouts out my brother here, top fan over here. But yeah, Arizona firmly in competition there. They have just got to lock up the 1 seed. In my opinion, I mean, Houston dropped 3 straight this past week. Iowa State's just not in the same tax bracket. Illinois, I was partial to, but come on, I mean, there's really only 3 true 1 seeds. Whoever comes in 4th is just kind of getting the consolation prize as of right now. So yeah, shouts out Arizona, shouts out Tucson. I just went to Phoenix for the first time, yeah, I got a lot of thoughts about Phoenix, man. Let's talk some West Coast ball. But moving on to my list going up, I'll go a little faster since we got a captive audience here, or not so captive, but hey, stick around. It might get interesting. Norfolk State. Shouts out the 575. Shouts out Mike Vick. Shouts out them being 15-15, by far the strongest record thus far at the bottom feeders, we're talking for in the 300s here. New Haven, Cal State, Bakersfield. Hey, I've been to Bakersfield road trip one time. Road trip. I didn't road trip to Bakersfield, but I was in Bakersfield. Tennessee Tech, you've got to be shitting me. No clue where that is. New Haven, I'm gonna have to guess in New Haven, Connecticut. Even though I thought that. Anyways, let's not get into that. Let's start moving up here. North Florida, Loyola, Little Rock, Lafayette, UMass, Loyal. Where are? I mean, come on, man. Let's keep going. NJIT, Northern Arizona. Shouts out Northern Arizona. Their big man transferred to Notre Dame, and he is indeed one of the leading rebounders in the country right now. And not only is he the leading rebounder in the country, one of the leading, but he's also going to be going and trying to make a career in the NFL because he's not a basketball player. He's just a big body. I'm going to skip for Oral Roberts. Shout out to their architecture. I believe that's in Omaha, Nebraska. Shouts out to Oral Roberts and their architecture. Evansville, God loves Southern Indiana. Cleveland State, yeah, say more. Chattanooga, Georgia State, Central Connecticut, Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'd be lying if I saw a lot of these games. I saw a USC Upstate game one time, South Carolina Upstate. And the Big South, catching some Big South action there. UNC Greensboro, gotta love it. Bellarmine, these are just. Bellarmine is really in the spirit of like this whole exercise of like what in the world's going on here, because where is Bellarmine? And we had our one viewer leave. Very, very, very sad there. Very sad there. Kind of gonna expedite this process. Get to teams that matter, or just shout out to 757 once again. Hampton. I've been catching some CAA. Saw one of their games. This is the top 300 here, so we are getting into the real competitive ball. Ball State. Speaking of Ball State. Shouts out Reese Brevard coming in there. Football team next year. 5'9" running back. Explosive athlete. But that being said, Lehigh and the Patriot. It's New England, but where in the heck is Lehigh? University of IU Indy. Just played in the Horizon playing game. Shouts out to them, but they took the loss there. Eastern Kentucky, I believe that is in Richmond, Kentucky, home of the nearest Buc-ee's. Shouts out to Buc-ee's, to my Northern Indiana roots here. Need I say more? Let's keep going forward. Western Michigan. Shouts out Western Michigan. Shouts out to Western Michigan. Giving undefeated Miami, Ohio a run for their money, as I have said before. UTEP. Shouts out UTEP, like I was just saying earlier. Incarnate Ward. Shouts out to Cam Ward for Incarnate Ward being on the map. I'm usually taking Western over them. Western has lost to a D2 school this year, so that's not too inspiring. That's why they're sitting at 276. Moving up, Incarnate Ward, South Dakota. Shout out the Summit League. Shout out St. Thomas in the Summit League in North Dakota State. South Dakota's not that great. Mount St. Mary's in the MAC. Milwaukee, UW Milwaukee. Gosh, UC Riverside, Long Beach State, Sacramento. Gotta love all these California teams. Purdue, Fort Wayne. Shouts out to Fort Wayne. Shouts out Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Charleston Southern just gave UNCW a run for their money. UNCW looking at a auto bid. Nicholls State. Shouts out Alan Graves. Shouts out Avi and him interviewing Alan Graves. And shouts out Nicholls State playing a pretty competitive game in the Southland versus McNeese the other day, last night. And shouts out to Boston University. There's going to be some teams coming up here. Temple, Harvard, and the 150s from Boston as well. Let's keep going up to Samford. That's in the South, but where? You know what I mean? Central Michigan. Shouts out Central Michigan. Shouts out the Akron Zips. Old Dominion, 757 Norfolk. Let's go. Okay. Eastern Michigan. Shouts out Ypsilanti, Babytron. Shouts out Southern Detroit metro suburb. Ohio in the MAC. Not the MAC, but the MAC. Moving up forward in the Summit. South Dakota State, Summit Lake. Boom. Coastal Carolina, Western Carolina. Lots of those teams there. UMBC. I mean, what a come up for them. Moving to the 2-100 here, top 100 rather. James Madison, shouts out Kurt Signetti, but first team in the top 200 here. Weber State, Weber State, Furman, Drexel, shouts out Howard, shouts out Tulane, got a couple of their games. Shouts out FIU, New Mexico State, Green Bay. We're talking about KenPom. We're talking about KenPom. KenPom is useless. That's why we got Bartovic. Hey, Green Bay. Shouts out Purdue for a win, but Green Bay has just an insufferable coach. Love Oakland. I love Greg Camp. That's his name, I think. The Oakland coach. Him and Thomas go way back. Moving on up. Shouts out to Richmond. Shouts out to the Richmond Spiders, baby. Woo! Getting me fired up for the Richmond Spiders. Let's go, baby. Boom. Merrimack. Where are we here? The Mac. Oh, boom. Bowling Green. Valparaiso. I just heard my LinkedIn go off. What's going on over here? My LinkedIn. Hey, get at me on LinkedIn here, everybody. But yeah, that being said, everybody. Valparaiso. Shouts out to Bryce Drew, former coach, I believe. Loyola Marymount. Lots of Loyolas. Where is Loyola Chicago? We'll have to see. Definitely have already been passed, right? I mean, they have a pitiful season. They've had a pitiful year in the A10. Why is Loyola Chicago in the A10? Can someone shed some light on that? Shouts out the A10 this year. Shouts out the Summit. Shouts out to the MAC with the double bid coming up here. Maybe Akron winning versus the Redhawks, the Miami Redhawks. If we can get a double, here's what I ultimately want here, and we're gonna get into this talk at some point. But I want the MAC to be a double bid. I want the WCC to be a triple bid. So let's get into that later. But lots of UC teams. UC Santa Barbara. UC San Diego. Shouts out UC San Diego. Austin Gale graduated there. Shouts out my guy there. UC Irvine, Cal Baptist. There's just too many teams from Cal. Huh? St. Joseph, I believe we're looking at Philadelphia there. Illinois State. Shouts out cracking the top 100. Hofstra. Oh boy. Davidson, Notre Dame. Shouts out 574. Woo! One of the worst records in the top 100 for sure. Except for Marquette. 10-19. Jesus. That is a record or a strength of record merchant if I've ever seen one. Let's keep going. McNeese. Shouts out Larry Johnson passing Joe Dumars for the most points in freshman McNeese history. Stephen F. Austin and Miami coming in just ahead of McNeese. Two absolute Cinderella stories. But George Washington coming out of the A10 just has a very, very, very strong case. It's looking like they're not going to get in at an at-large anywhere. But Akron looking to upset Miami, Ohio. They actually rank higher in a lot of these metrics here. The Zips are not to be fucked with. If the Zips can come out and win the MAC, it's going to be hard to deny a Miami, Ohio team. That is what would constitute a two-conference MAC, two-bid MAC, rather. And that being said, we're going to keep going. Shouts out to Phoenix and Grand Canyon University. The top 100. Shouts out to Minnesota, Oklahoma, Washington. You got to think the Gophers are nowhere near as good as Washington, but they've been surging as of late. Shouts out the Lobos of New Mexico. Everyone's a Lobo. All right. Don't get it twisted. All right. So there we go. Boom. Moving up on the list. Santa Clara at 31, and they're a bubble team? Are you kidding me? I've got a viewer now. Can someone tell me who is viewing? I would love to see who's viewing the stream. Go and throw a comment in there, but now we're talking some real ball. We got the two-bid MAC coming up if the Zips can upset the Redhawks. Oh, I lost my viewer. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? But yeah, I mean, Santa Clara boasting some strong talent, boasting a versatile lineup, boasting Alan Graves. Love it. 31, you got to think that they're a lock for the tournament, but no, they're on the bubble. According to Joe Lenardi, what are we doing here? I think they're, I think it's just an absolute shame if the USC or an Ohio State makes it in over Santa Clara. Granted, Santa Clara doesn't have so many quad one games or the Big Ten schedule or whatever, but I believe Ohio State is 1-10 in quad one games. They're just going to be a first round exit, most likely. Shouts out Bruce Thornton and Evan Mobley, John Mobley. But Santa Clara should certainly be in the tournament. Shouts out WCC. Let's get a 3-bid WCC while we're at it. 3 bids. Who are they? St. Mary's, and of course the Zags right there. Let's give some credit to the St. Louis Billikens from the A10. Love the A10. Shouts out BCU. Shouts out Richmond Spiders, and shouts out the A10 as a whole. George Washington, George Mason, all these guys here. SEC currently boasting 11 tournament teams. Big Ten is looking at 11 if you can count USC and Ohio State, but I'm partial to throwing in an Akron, a Miami, Ohio, preferably a Santa Clara or a VCU, please. But yeah. Moving forward, Michigan State I like the most out of Michigan State, Purdue, and Nebraska, but they're all strong Tier 2 Big Ten teams. Iowa has some serious defensive concerns, but they are just ridiculous on offense. Ridiculous. UConn, I don't know if they're that strong. I've seen Villanova play them very tight a couple times. Houston, like I was saying, dropped a couple. Florida's just surging despite having 6 losses. They're so strong. And like I was saying, the big 3, Arizona, Michigan, and Duke. So there we go. Gonna wrap it up here. And definitely gonna get my guy Jesse on a stream here because if it saves and you can watch it later, it's pretty much a no-brainer to stream instead of record it, in my opinion. It's been Bryce Cook. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Shouts out to the a lot of area codes I want to shout out. But yeah, that being said here. Shouts out to VCU. Let's get VCU in the tournament. Let's get a 3-bid WCC. Let's get a 2-bid MAC. Shouts out low majors. Shouts out mid majors, and yeah. I hope you've enjoyed it. Something more comprehensive coming soon.